Please welcome Chen.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your...
God, the whole new world idea was a lot better at home when I was by myself. It's terrible. I'm an Asian from the South, which means I'm usually allergic to praise. And so the best way I know how to thank all of you, especially the AAF, is to burden you with something depressing that my mother told me when I was 10. And that is, no one is watching you. Now, I realize how blasphemous that is to a room of the most esteemed marketers in the world, whose job is to quite literally ensure that everyone is watching you, buying from you, MPSing you, not going crazy on Twitter about you. But I distinctly remember when I first started the YouTube creator plan with PM Shanaz Zach, partner manager Margaret Healy, my boss Chris Hamilton, our cross-functional leads Jim Wood, Sean Park, Admiral Tom Pickett, bureaucracy. It's cool, I love them all. I distinctly remember though, people thought that globalizing a partner monetization program was putting $1 on a pig that would never be a bank. I remember being told that next up our talent incubator was for those who couldn't make it in real Hollywood. I remember that a gold play button was seen as provincial as a elementary school blue ribbon. I remember VidCon being said was a backyard barbecue. And I remember when I told them we should call them creators, that people said, that's taken by Jesus. What YouTube taught me, it's not, by the way, it's only a third of the population where that's taken, just so y'all know, math. But what YouTube taught me, you can count on it, what YouTube taught me most was that if you start anything new, very, very, very few people are rooting for you because no one believes you. But it's okay, because the right eyes that you actually need always end up doing so. Goldhouse taught me that when no one is watching you, no one will help you but you. I still remember for years, there are all these Asians conducting all this research about how many people hate us, how many don't recognize us, how little people think about us, and all I could think when I saw these stats was something my mother said. There are complainers and there are creators. Because a world that takes everything from you owes you nothing. And so if the world is not watching you, then it is on you to make them look the right way. That's why from our co-founder and CEO, Jeremy Tran, all the way to our other co-founders like Helen Lin in advertising to Marvin Chow on platforms, these people have reshaped actual measurable economic outcome, not just by adapting systems that are broken, but by creating markets where too many thought there was none. All collectively has shown me that when no one is watching you, they're probably not watching people just like you. And so if you have platforms and the privilege of them, if you have the world's largest minority with you, then you have a responsibility to show people what the world has been missing. This is how Tiffany R. Warren, of course, moves throughout the world. If you don't have a seat at the table, you don't just shatter the ceiling in that room, you build your own house and bring everyone in. Now, we wish you were here, Ted. Now is the time when I'm supposed to end and tell you why marketing, advertising, D&I, BGA are sort of the future. Panacea will run all the world and solve everything inclusive of cancer forever and ever and ever. But instead, I always think no matter how many we see or how much we create, I'm always reminded, never have I known more that no one was watching me than at my father's funeral. I remember going in, I was 15, and the entire church we thought was wrong because it was empty. We live day to day wondering who is ruining us, who is rooting for us, only to have no one with us when we're gone. Now, I'm not trying to say that nothing matters because no one is watching you. I'm trying to say that the things that are most worth doing are those that no one saw coming because they come from creators that no one was watching. That instead of just focusing on who is ignoring us, to focus on who is helping us, beginning with us for all of us. And if we build all of this right, it won't actually matter if the eyes that love us can see us longer, because as they say, the only way to actually live longer is to leave something that does. So thank you so much again to the American Advertising Federation for seeing me, for seeing Jeremy, for seeing my mother, who truly belong least in this esteemed group. And I think most importantly, thank you to the AAF for showing the world what it means to look.